Hello and good morning. Welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. I still remain Kende Boduri.
And I am Anama Ahmed Gabriel.
Okay, it's a beautiful day here in our studio, and we are so glad to have you join us. Welcome to today's program, from politics and the economy to security and public affairs. Today's newspapers are filled with stories that matters. Now we'll begin with a review of the major headlines making rounds across the country before diving into our main discussion for the day. Thank you for joining us once again, and please do well to follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7, and please do well to share. So joining us virtually is Echo John Nicholas. He's the National Coordinator, Food and Farmers' Rights Campaigns. He's also the coordinator and campaign for Democratic and Workers' Rights Ogun State Chapter. And he's also NEC member, that's NEC member, Democratic Socialist Movement. You're welcome, sir. And thanks for joining us today, sir.
Good morning. Good morning to our listener at home, and good morning to our viewer. It's a pleasure to be here once again. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure, sir. Thank you so much. So, Ahmed, we just take a good look at the newspapers we have here. We have the Guardian, we have the Punch, and we have the Vanguard. And we'll just take the stories, we'll read out the headlines here. So, here we have debts. Tinubu has not borrowed 18 trillion naira. Oyedele tells Senate.
Okay, ICPC quizzes Bajami Amila as House summons key agencies over lapses.
We also have Tinubu announces 26 appointments, names Fayose REA board chairman.
We have reps harmonize Tinubu's state policy bill with Senate and their amendments.
Okay, we also have terrorists using drones, crypto to boost operational capabilities. UN wants.
Osun 2026, INEC begins PVC's distribution tomorrow.
Yeah, and we also have Kwankwaso confirmed single-term pact with Obi, queries APC's Muslim ticket. Okay, you know what? I mean, we have a lot of stories here to talk about, but, because of time, we'll just look at a few on the Guardian newspaper. So, Mr. John Nicholas, I want us to talk about debt. That's Tinubu has not borrowed 80 trillion naira. Oyedele tells Senate. Now, we can see that this story actually explores why debt remains a major issue for many Nigerians. So we want to hear from you. What's your take? Why do you think there is so much public concern whenever Nigeria's debt figures are discussed? Please, let's hear your thought on this.
Thank you very much. Yes, debt.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't have the data presently about Nigeria's government debt to the international financial development organization and even locally too. But I know that according to the budget office, is it the budget office now?
Yeah.
I can't recall. The debt of Nigeria is going into trillions. I think something around 50-something trillions, if I'm not mistaken, both internal and external debt that the government is presently owing to the international financial development organization, including IMF, World Bank, and the likes of them. Why are Nigerians concerned? Nigerians have to be concerned because, first and foremost, all these borrowings, how has it reflected in our material condition of life in Nigeria? How do I mean? We have been borrowing, as I've said, to the tune of trillions. All this money that I've borrowed, has it reflected in the standard of living of the average Nigerian? The answer is no. The more we seem to be borrowing and the more money we are making internally, the harder and harsher the economic has become for the working and poor masses of Nigeria. How do you reconcile that paradox? And that is why Nigerians are concerned. We have to be concerned because now the budget that we have always had, including this 2026 budget appropriation, you will recall that a certain percentage of money is being allocated for debt servicing. And as you are servicing these debts, what that means is that it's going to reflect on investment in education, it's going to reflect on government investment in health, it's going to reflect on government investment in housing, it's going to, reflect on government investment in security and all social services. What I'm saying is that government is going to cut down on its public spending in order to finance debt services.
All right.
And that is why every sane Nigeria must be concerned, not just being concerned in words. We must be concerned with our action by demanding through mass action, including protest, to say that enough of all this borrowing from government, that Nigeria has enough resources, to finance whatever project Nigeria want to engage in. And that is because if we even have to borrow, that borrow, as I said, must reflect in the daily life and economic well-being of the mass of the citizenry. We are not seeing that. What we are seeing is that government is borrowing to finance the obscene and luxurious lifestyles of the political class. That is what we are seeing. And that is why all of us must be concerned.
Yes.
And as I said, it's not just being concerned in our various comfort zones. We must move out and demand enough is enough. We cannot be suffering. Because living crisis is high, people can't eat, insecurity everywhere, and government keeps on borrowing. So what are they using this money to do? I think that is the question.
Yes.
And that is the question Nigerians are asking. There is no accountability. There is no transparency. And as I said, all this money don't reflect in our daily condition of material life. That is why we are concerned, and our concerns are valid. I think we need explanation.
Yes, we sure need explanation, because I think we are tired. Are you not tired?
Oh, I'm very tired, of course. And Mr. John has rightfully said, the debt is actually too much. And if you look at the budget reports from last year, we have a deficit, and the deficit is in trillions as well, just as Mr. John has said. And so, Mr. John, for the clarification which Ayodele, the Minister of Finance, has given to the Senate, what would you say is the context of the clarification? Could it be propaganda, or could it just be that they are trying to show to us that they are working, but the citizens are not seeing it?
Know the clarification now is Oyedele saying that they are no more borrowing, or they are borrowing less? Is that what he's saying?
He's saying that the borrowing has not been up to 80 trillion naira, as the media or the claims have come to be.
Allegedly.
Okay, it's not up to 80 trillion.
Yes,
okay,
it's less than that.
Whether it's up to 80 trillion, or is it whether it's even up to a trillion, is beside the point. But the important thing, the fundamental thing, is that the Tinubu government in 3 years has borrowed more than Jonathan and Buhari governments joined together. In over 10 years of those two governments. Jonathan spent almost 6 years, Buhari spent 8 years. That is almost 14 years or thereabout.
Yes.
Tinubu in 3 years has borrowed more than those two governments combined together. So as I have said, what have those money? We are not seeing what these monies are being used for. When I say we are not seeing, I said that in reflecting the standard of living of the mass of the people. So what he's doing is just propaganda, is gaslighting the people, and that is what they have been doing. It is government of lie, government of propaganda, and it cannot be otherwise, because why? They are not ruling in the interest of the working and poor masses. As we are lamenting, as workers, as poor masses, as ordinary Nigerians, those in government and the business executive, their business collaborator, are not lamenting. The shareholders in all the major companies, are smiling to banks. The multinationals are smiling. So they are making more money. But the point is that as they are making more money, the political class and their business collaborator, the Nigerian masses, the workers, and the poor are presently undergoing crippling poverty, suffering, misery. In the midst of plenty. Nigeria is blessed with both natural and human resources. If these resources are well managed in the interest of the majority, we don't have any reason to borrow. And that is why I have always said it on this platform, that our ruling elite are not only parasitic, they are all productive. There is, is it agriculture? In agriculture in Nigeria, Nigeria has one of the best, soil in the whole world, both in terms of land, in terms of weather, in terms of everything. We have the capacity to produce rice and export. We have the capacity to produce soya beans and export. We have the capacity to produce ginger and export, onion, name all the products. But what do you have? These are the issues. So what Ayodele and Co is doing is propaganda. It's just meant to show to say that they are doing something, and at the end of the day, they are actually doing. Yes, they are doing something. No, in fairness to them, they are doing something. But the question is that what are they actually doing? What they are doing is that they keep enriching themselves with our common wealth at the expense of the need of the poor masses. That is what they are doing.
Okay, thank you so much for the thoughts. We can't really overemphasize the rise in debt in Nigeria. We just hope these debt issues become like an history, Or what do you think, Amin?
Very soon, I believe. And that's why we have to encourage our citizens to, be not less concerned, but work on their PVCs, so as to participate in the upcoming elections.
Definitely. Okay, so I would just like us to take another story. It's going to be a very short one. So, Mr. John Nicholas, we just want to talk about this. Terrorists using drones, crypto to boost operational capabilities, UN warns. So just a 60
Please come again. I didn't get that story.
Okay, the story is about terrorists. The headlines: terrorists using drones, crypto to boost operational capabilities, and UN warns. So just in a minute and some seconds, Mr. John, how should or is Nigeria doing enough to stay ahead of technology-driven security threats? So I want to hear your take on it.
Yes, in everything. When you talk of material resources and even human capacity, Nigeria has everything to be able to drive security technologically.
Okay.
The world has gone beyond all this one that we are still doing here. But the point is this: our security as ordinary masses doesn't take precedence in their agenda. That is why we are where we are. If not, during Patani as the Minister of Communication and digital, whatever they call it, you will remember that every Nigerian was asked to go and register his phone, his SIM line now. Did we not?
Yes.
And what was the major reason for all that? They wanted the security, the technological driven, security, situation where if because of the advent of terrorism, banditry and things like that, if the terrorists cannot be traced using their SIM and all that, even BVN. But today, what happens, sir? What happened, man? Have we seen anything? So it's not because Nigeria lack that capacity, or it's not right for technological driven, security technologically. What is lacking? It is the unproductiveness. the productiveness, what the major issue is the unproductiveness of our ruling elite. They are not ready. But meanwhile, why they are not doing that technologically to save the poor, but they are using the same technological, advancement, security-wise, to protect themselves. To protect themselves. So it is we they are not bothered about. And that is why we must insist and let them understand that they are in government for our welfare and security, and that we matters, and that they must do everything possible to ensure that we protect our lives and our property, and that we live, a good life without living in fear in Nigeria.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we know that insecurity and terrorism is not just a, should I say, Nigerian-based issue, and so I believe that's why the United Nations is, paying attention and also giving warnings to countries like Nigeria, right? But then, Mr. John, what was the warning from the United Nations tells us about the changing nature of terrorism, globally and not just in Nigeria?
Yes, as you have said, insecurity is global issue, but it's more vicious in certain countries than others. Given the neo-colonial nature of Nigerian society and the Nigerian economy, with intractable poverty, misery, you will know that the vices of terrorism, banditry, and the likes of them is heightened, and is more in Nigeria than in most advanced countries. And that is why the UN's warnings becomes very, very important. It means that the terrorists are even going ahead. They are more ahead technologically than the government itself. They have started flying drone, and it means that they are acquiring more sophisticated gadgets in order to advance their nefarious trade at the detriment of the citizens of Nigeria. That is why that warning is very, very important. But the fact is this: in other same country you have mentioned, you can be sure that they will take this warning very, very important, and they will ensure that they do the needful to be ahead of terrorists. In acquiring advanced technology to combat all these elements. But in Nigeria, you can be sure that they are not going to do anything. They will just do as if they are doing something. Then at the end of the day, when the noise, subsided about kidnapping and things like that, some of the kidnapped people are released, the government will go back to sleep again until another kidnapping incident happens again. And as I have always said here, those things that are responsible fundamentally in terms of social reality, poverty and the likes, their recruitment base, education of those out of school children in the north and the likes of them, have all these issues been addressed? I think this is where we are to start from.
Yeah. We also have other issues we need to even look into, right?
Yes. We have how PFIC got into 2026 budget by Adeyemi. Just briefly, Sir Mr. John, it turns out that proper procedures were not followed during the registration of PFIPC. Who should we blame? Who should be held accountable?
Thank you very much. You are talking of the presidential, investment, promotion commission. What do they call it now? Which the federal government have said is fake. Yes, as led by the fake Adeyemi as its director general, isn't it? Yes, thank you very much. Who should we blame? Who should we blame? The blame goes to the government, the federal government. Yes, that is where the blame has to be placed, that if an individual, quote and unquote, could float a fake government agency, secure an office in the federal secretariat, get appointment letter, open domiciliary account with the CBN in dollars and in pounds, then find its way into the budget proposal, and money has been allocated to be spent by an agency that is referred to, quote and unquote, to be fake. What that tells you, sir, means that our government and government officials in Nigeria are also fictitious. They are also fake. They are not genuine. Yes, they all rig election. You rig election to come to power. You buy vote. Then at the end of the day, you also bribe the judges or buy over the judiciary. So what is that kind of government? It's a fake government. So you cannot have a fake government then without having fake agencies. What are we talking about? You're asking who should the blame? The blame lies on the government. If the government is doing what she should do, a genuine government, a government that is credible, a government with integrity, a government that serves the interests of the people, how can an agency of the federal government now be fake? And you said that Director General is also fake. And you have budgetary allocation to the same fake agency. And the man is saying that even when he was lobbying for money to be appropriated for his agency, that he met with those responsible for budget, he lobbied them, although he didn't give them money. But that when he was arrested, he was in detention. It was after his arrest that they still put the money, they still appropriated funds for that agency that is allegedly to be fake by the government.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
They already said it's fake. The man was arrested, right?
Yeah.
So how come you still now appropriated money, budgetary allocation, to be spent by the same allegedly fake agencies that is Director General has been arrested? Just as they also appropriated money for FIFA World Cup that has just been concluded. Nigeria did not qualify. Nigeria has failed to qualify before the appropriation. And yet, after they have failed to qualify, they still earmark billion in budgetary allocation to the same FIFA World Cup that Nigeria was not to make its appearance. Who was to spend that money? And you say we are not running fake and fictitious government officials. I mean, we are not running a government populated, yes, that is the right word, a government populated by fake and fictitious officials.
Okay.
The blame, lies on the federal government. Nobody else. The blame is solely on them.
Okay. Thank you so much for your thoughts, okay?
When we return, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu fills 26 top government positions across key agencies.
So Mr. John Nicholas will still be with here to take our main conversation. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, you're still on a morning show that's here on Enterprise TV. So we'll just go straight to our main conversation. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved 26 new appointments across 10 federal agencies and commissions with immediate effect. Former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose was appointed chairman of the Rural Electrification Agency alongside new board members Amadou Abubakar and Ilyasu Ibrahim Makinta. Major General Junaid Bindawa will chair the National Salary and Wages Commission, while Olajumoke Okoya-Thomas becomes secretary. The commission also received several new commissioners representing different states. Tosin Johnson Adeyanju was reassigned from the National Lottery Trust Fund to the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission as secretary.
Dr. Abuh Mohammed was appointed Director General of the National Population Commission, while Dr. Akinola Odeyemi becomes Managing Director of the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company. Dr. Anthony Inalegu Godwin was named Chairman and Chief Executive of the Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission, and Engineer Julius Oloro was appointed Chief Executive of the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization. The President also appointed Dr. Abdullahi Maikano Saidu as Chairman of the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, with a new board named Shuni Mohammed Dahiru as Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Mass Literacy, and appointed Gisaro Vincent as Executive Director of Finance at the Federal Housing Authority.
Wow. Do we say we have new appointment, or we have some coming as new, and we have some that has been reassigned?
Reassigned, exactly.
Right? Okay. So Mr. John Nicholas is still here with us to take the main conversation. So are you still here with us, sir?
Yes, I'm with you, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay. So very quickly, sir, right? This assess the potential impact of the appointment. So now I just want to ask you this. Every administration makes fresh appointments, right? Yet Nigerians often complain that little changes. I just want to know, why does this really happen?
Why does it what?
Why does this really happen? What I'm trying to say is, we know that every administration makes fresh appointments.
Yes.
But yet,
yes.
Nigerians often complain that little changes. Like, we often complain, okay, there would be a complaint after all. So I just want to ask, why do we always have this? Or why do we often have this?
Yes, I think that why Nigerians often complain, and rightly too, is the fact that all these appointments into these positions,
Okay.
does it reflect in the daily lives of the mass majority of the people in terms of their needs and services these agencies are supposed to provide for the people? I think it's from that context that the average Nigerians, majority of Nigerians have to raise their concern. It's actually concerning. To be frank with you, the truth is this: why we concede, the right of the president, Bola Tinubu's, constitutionally guaranteed power to appoint, whoever he wishes into all these agencies and parastatal, even ministries. The questions that we should ask ourselves is that, are all these appointments done from altruistic point of view? Are these appointments done in the interest of the mass majority? Are these appointments meant to uplift and guarantee standard of services of these agencies to Nigerians? If you ask me, the answer unequivocally is no. all those appointments are nothing but political patronage. They are meant to position all these people to be able to deliver come 2027 election. It's simply for political patronage. It's not for altruistic. Purposes. So that is why we are concerned.
Okay.
You have appointed Fayose, the former PDP governor of Ekiti, who is now in PDP and also in APC, or do we say sympathetic to APC or whatever. You have appointed him to head the Rural Electrification Commission. What do you expect Mr. Fayose to deliver in terms of providing electricity for rural and agrarian areas? I stay in agrarian area. The majority of those are agrarian area where we stay as farmers. There is no lighting. We hardly had light. In fact, they have not even put electricity in some of those villages after electricity has been discovered for how many centuries now. Rural electrification is supposed to be key to any government that is interested in development, that is interested in industrialization. Do we see that? You have just appointed Fayose. Was Fayose appointed to that position based on merit, based on his competence, based on his specialty, expertise in rural electricity provision? No, these are questions we should ask. And that's why I said it's simply for political patronage. It's to deliver vote for Tinubu, those who have been supporting him. And you know that Fayose have been very vocal of recent in support of the Tinubu's government. They are just be compensated for that support. That is for Fayose. The other one that interests me most is the one that is being led by the Julius, is he Odeyemi now? Led, the former chairman, led the Nigeria Center for Agricultural Mechanization in Kwara. Thank you very much. You know I'm a farmer. So everything agriculture should also interest me. The question you should ask is this: since that agency has been existing, how far has mechanization of agricultural sector? How far has it gone? Today, agriculture in Nigeria, especially cropping, is still dominated by hoe and cutlasses. In advanced world, nobody uses hoe and cutlass again. People use tractor, they use planter. Everywhere is mechanized. But in Nigeria today, people still use watering can to be doing irrigation. And yet this Center for Agricultural Mechanization is supposed to provide all this equipment. But are they doing that? The other day, last year, we were told that how many thousands, 4,000 tractors were imported from Belarus. Where are those tractors today? Have they been given to farmers? At that Center of Agricultural Mechanization, we expect that they should be designing machines that will be adaptable to our local peculiarity, so that we don't get to start importing those things. Do you get that?
Yes.
Then a Julius that has been Odeyemi that has been appointed now, will he change that narrative? The answer is no. It's just to give him that position too, just to compensate him for the good he has been doing, or the good those who are close to him have been doing to Tinubu. It's as simple as that. Then the other one that also interests me is the one for mass literacy, adult education, and the likes of them. I'm surprised we even have such an agency. Because when you look at the level of mass illiteracy in Nigeria, adult-wise, you begin to wonder. So we will have an agency that is constitutionally saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that those who could not go to school while they were young, or those who still want to go to school while they are old and they have work and they want to be doing part-time schooling and things like that, that we will have an agency to educate them, provide education for them to become literate citizens. Are we seeing that? See, You see, we like to deceive ourselves. All those appointments is just for Tinubu to also show that he's doing something. As you have said, it's their style. When another government come tomorrow, all those people again, they will leave them and appoint another person. Like the Julius Odeyemi led the Nigeria Center for Agricultural Mechanization. Of course, the last Director General, whatever, or is he executive, whatever now, he is dead. So, of course, that is valid. He need to be replaced. Right?
Okay.
But others, are they being their heads? Are they being replaced for service delivery? Are they being replaced, as I said, to meet the needs and aspirations of the mass majority of Nigeria in terms of deliverable from those agencies? The answer is no. So by and large, nothing is going to change in all these agencies, whether they reappoint people, bring in new people, and things like that. It's not meant to reposition these agencies. They are just meant to reposition and deliver votes come 2027 for President Tinubu. Is political patronage, pure and simple.
All right, thanks for your thoughts. And that was a well-detailed one.
Yes, of course, especially Julius Odeyemi. Just so we don't run into conclusion, let's be hopeful that they perform well.
Yeah.
Looking at it from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's aspect, he reassigned some of these officers, right? And take a look at Tosin Johnson, for example, was reassigned from the National Lottery Trust Fund to the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission as secretary. Mr. Jones, what do you think about this reassigning? I mean, this was someone that was somewhere, and then probably because of his activeness, because of his results, the president has now moved him and reassigned him to Mobilization and Fiscal Ministry. Please, let's have your thought.
Well, I didn't know what you meant by his result. Maybe he has delivered positively, to the expectation of the president, or he has delivered, positively to the expectation of Nigerians. I think they are two different things.
Yes.
But if you ask me, I think he has done well by the president reckoning. But by the mass of Nigeria, I doubt if he's going to get such a score in the scoreboard of Nigerian people. That is one. Then number two is the fact that Revenue and Fiscal Mobilization Commission, I'm sure that is the agency that is supposed to be fixing the minimum wage. Wages and things like that. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So how has that agency affected the lives of Nigeria positively? Have they come to say that because of the economic crisis Nigerians are presently experiencing, ordinary Nigeria, that the workers' salary should not be up to 250 to 300,000 naira every month? Has the Fiscal Mobilization, whatever, recommended such to the president? Have they recommended now that, in Nigeria, just as we have it in, Sena country, that per hour work, we now, amount to so and so every day in order to up Nigerians' earnings? Have they done that? What policies and programs have that agency recommended to the president, and it has been signed into law, whatever, to ensure that the lives of Nigeria in terms of revenue improve? So when you say, because he has done well and they have now moved him to that other place, so I don't understand. But as I have said, it's simply political patronage. Don't forget, all these agencies get budgetary allocation year in, year out, in tune of billions of naira. What have these agencies, what have they done with all this money? How has it reflected in the life of Nigerians? Those ones that are not giving direct services or whatever, what they are doing. How I've just told you now, the one for adult education, mass literacy, and the likes of them. Are we seeing that in the lives of Nigerians now? That Nigeria, because of that agency doing their job, excellently, dutifully, Nigerians are now adult Nigerians are now well educated, are now well informed. Are we seeing that? Then there's the other one again, the Federal Housing Corporation, the Federal Housing, whatever. I think there's agency like that, and appointment has also been made. How many houses since the advent of Tinubu, even Buhari, Jonathan, how many houses has that Federal Housing Agency, Housing Commission, whichever name it is, how many houses have they delivered to the homeless, poorly accommodated Nigerians since the existence of that agency? Is it not meant to be building houses for all of us? They are in charge of land and be using it to build house. For us. That's the agency that is responsible for that now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
How many low-cost houses have they been able to provide for the poor masses? So this new appointment now, is it going to change that?
We just hope so. We hope so, because I think we believe that.
And we hope so. We hope so. No problem.
Yeah, we believe that good governance is not just about who gets appointed, right? But about transparency, accountability, competence, and measurable results. Or what can you say, Mr. John Nicholas?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yes, you were saying something about
I said because we believe that
transparency.
good governance is not just about being appointed. It's about, showing transparency, accountability, and also competence.
Okay, in the appointment to those agencies, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Well, it's about transparency and accountability.
Yeah.
These are two very strong words.
Mm-hmm.
The first question you should ask yourself is that, is the Tinubu government transparent and accountable to Nigerians? When you say government that is transparent, a government that's accountable, it's not just limited to appointment alone. It's also included in the policies and program formulation as it affects the poor masses.
Yeah.
You say government is transparent and accountable. It just fleecily, on its first day, remove subsidy.
What I was trying to say is governance is not just it's not just about appointment. It's about you being transparent, being competent, and having measurable
Thank
results.
you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I needed to clarify that, sir.
Yes, that is what it should be. But the opposite is the case with our government.
Mm-hmm.
But don't get me wrong, it's not about Tinubu's government alone. No. It's not about Tinubu. Okay. All successive government have done the same. And it's about the system, the social and economic philosophy under which we run our country. And that is why I have consistently said here, as a socialist, that as long as this system remains, this capitalist system that is built on greed, that is meant, to produce, to consume, and to distribute for the benefit of a tiny minority at the expense of the need of the majority, such a government cannot be said to be transparent. If we are to say that a government is not transparent, what it means is that, number one, all the anti-poor policies of the government has to be reversed.
Mm-hmm.
In that wise, subsidy removal has to be reversed and take fuel back to a pre-Tinubu days, or the way he meant it. So that transportation, cost of living crisis, and other things associated with fuel and power that Nigeria is suffering presently now will now come down. That is number one.
Okay.
If you are running a transparent government, what we expect is that there should be massive investment in agriculture so that there will be food security, sustainability, and availability for the mass majority. Yeah. Let me tell you about transparency of this government.
Okay.
Just today in the Vanguard newspaper, the All Farmers Association, Abuja chapter, that is Federal Capital Territory, is saying that about 6,000 plus fertilizer that the government has said to be given to farmer, that fertilizer has not been given to farmers. AFAN is threatening that they have written several letters, they have met with those responsible, and yet several calls, they have not released this fertilizer. And that they are giving ultimatum. Once that fertilizer is not released, that they are going to take further action. Mind you, these are fertilizers that are meant for wet season farming. Wet season farming that started in May.
Yeah.
We are heading towards August. Fertilizers that are meant for crop, that have been planted, have not yet been released. That is transparency and accountability.
Thank you for your thoughts, Mr. John Nicholas. We really appreciate your view on this morning show.
Yeah.
So
we're going to we just hope when we call you, you would always be available for us, right, Mr. John Nicholas?
Yes, anytime, any day, man.
Oh.
Only that we plead. Always ensure that I get the topic beforehand.
Definitely.
So that I don't come to your station and start stammering and start stammering. It's always good you also prepare beforehand.
All right.
I've appealed to Cynthia severally. Cynthia does, I don't know.
Okay. We'll definitely.
Why Cynthia is not obliging me? It's always in the morning of the interview she will send me the topic.
We'll definitely look into that, sir. Thank you so much for
no problem. Thank you very much. I appreciate you very much for giving us a voice.
All right. Thank you so much. And this is where we have to round it off here. And I hope you've been able to learn one or two lessons from what we've discussed on the morning show. Please don't forget to follow us across all of our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7, and please do well to share. I remain Kende Bodrin.
And I remain Anama Ame Gabriel.
All right, so do have a lovely day ahead and stay safe. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. Bye for now.